most countries, the sex industry is considered a legal red line, but in a few places it carries a label of legality. When that so-called legality is exploited, what kind of consequences does it bring? After a long effort, we received permission. Our director Han Wei and the team are taking you inside a place called Daulatdia. It may be hard to believe, but places like this still exist in the world. Right now, we're on a small wooden boat crossing the lower Ganges, known here in Bangladesh as the Padma River. On the opposite bank behind me is our destination, Daulatdia. In the past, trucks had to wait 2 to 3 days at the ferry crossing here before heading to the capital, Dhaka. We've now entered Daulatdia. At first glance, it doesn't look very different from a small local market. There are breakfast stalls, convenience shops, barber shops, everything you'd expect. Even though it's only 10 a.m., there are already quite a few people out on the streets. According to estimates, Daulatdia has a population of over 38,000 people. Among them, more than 1,500 women are sex workers. Most of them live in tightly packed tin-roofed rooms where sunlight barely makes its way through the cracks. Before arriving, we were concerned about unintentionally offending people during interviews. But our first interviewee, Cookino, quickly made us feel at ease. Right now, we're at a TikTok creator's home. She even wants me to wear a traditional sari and film a TikTok video with her. In Daulatdia, independent sex workers like Cookino rent their own rooms and support themselves. But there's another group known as debt-based sex workers. Many of them were sold here by traffickers, or even by their own families. A madam pays money to the seller, and that money becomes the girl's debt. They must then work to repay it. In Farida's case, we met another debt-based sex worker. She was sold here by her own husband for 100,000 taka. Even before that, she had already been forced into sex work for a long time. Under Bangladeshi law, anyone working in a red light district must be at least 18 years old and have a government-issued license. But during our interviews, we found that many girls were brought here at 14 or 15, or even younger. This is clearly illegal. So how is the law being bypassed? Local insiders told us that traffickers and brokers work closely with madams and even with certain officials. Fake medical certificates. In this gray system, pimps recruit and sell girls. Madams control and manage them. Authorities issue licenses. And in many cases, the police play a key role in allowing the system to continue. Some sex workers told us that police officers take advantage of them, using legal threats as pressure. Laws meant to regulate the industry are sometimes used against the very people they are supposed to protect. During filming, we tried multiple times to contact people involved in this system, hoping to present different perspectives. Most of them refused to respond. What we found is that the issue is not just about individuals. It's built into the system itself. Legalization hasn't truly protected these women. Instead, it has made the system appear more acceptable, while their actual living conditions remain harsh. To survive, many sex workers form relationships with financially stable or influential men. But this relationship is complicated. On one hand, it resembles intimacy. On the other, it is still tied to ongoing transactions. We met another sex worker, Jasmine. She met her babu at a bar 4 or 5 years ago. Today, they share a small room, less than 100 square feet. Whenever she has to work, he temporarily leaves. Money plays a major role in these relationships. In some cases, the babu himself becomes a hidden danger. Some take money from the women, force them to take more clients, and eventually leave once they've gained enough. When these relationships break down, survival becomes even harder. Farida chose a different path. After returning to Daulatdia, she saved money and bought property. Today, she has become a landlord and even helps manage the local community. In addition, health risks, including HIV, remain a serious concern. But even harder to treat is the psychological trauma many of these women carry. For some, the river becomes their final destination. But even death doesn't end the cycle. The children growing up here remain tied to the same environment. Without support, many of them are exposed to drugs, exploitation, and the same cycle repeating itself. Still, there are small signs of change. One woman named Sahara broke away from this life, and her decision created new opportunities for her younger sister and her child. Her story is not unique. Change is happening slowly, but it is happening. We wanted to understand what drives people into this system. Many women come from extreme poverty. In many cases, marriage is seen as their only form of financial security. When that fails, through abandonment, polygamy, or early divorce, they are often left with no support. Families are usually unwilling to take them back. And once they enter the sex industry, they face both legal and social barriers. Bangladesh still operates under many colonial-era laws. Prostitution itself is not entirely illegal, but socially, it is still heavily stigmatized. Women in the system are often denied housing and other opportunities. To access services, they need ID documents, and those IDs often list a red light district as their address. That label follows them everywhere. In many ways, stigma becomes a prison without walls. Every person we spoke to said the same thing: they don't want to be rescued. What they want is something much simpler. They want choices.